Okay. Um, Hello, everyone. Okay. Hello, everyone. Let's officially start this. I'm recording this on my phone. And honestly, there's just some ideas. I don't think I'm in a, honestly, giving a lecture vibe. I just want to share some notes I made today. Really, this sentence arose to me. If space is not real, how could anything else be? Now, most people think that when they hear like a sentence, or when they hear something, it has to be real for them or it's instantly unreal. I think it's a very advanced being. Sorry guys, these sounds of the streets, like you might wonder like, okay, what kind of podcast is this? But these are the sounds of the world. Everybody should hear them. This is the sound of modernity. Anybody who hears these talks in the future, these sounds you hear, this is what the world sounded like. So when I say if space is not real, nothing else be here in my notes I've written, if what is holding everything is considered unreal, then how can anything be real at all? So this is a proof that I'm using this as a proof to share that space must be real. So that's proof of the invisible. So I found an argument here, okay? Take me as this writer, philosopher guy. And I found this argument. I'm just trying to just like code share it here, just sharing it with the species. This is the idea. So I'm saying first, if space is not real, how could anything else be? So we're questioning what is space, okay? And then I'll read some stuff online of what people consider space to be. But anyways, second line of code. So first line of code, if space, first line of philosophical code, if space is not real, how could anything else be? Second line of philosophical code, oh my God, if what is holding everything is unreal, how can anything be real? Right? So the question is, we find ourselves on a planet in space, in some place, but space doesn't have a shape for us to call it a place. It doesn't have, in some sense, it's like how, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Is we, this whole time, been considering the planet is floating in the middle of space. We call it outer space. But to us, there's outer, inner. To it, it's just space. Okay, so there is space. Now, I'm saying we all consider matter in space to be real. We've done that much. Okay, so we're experiencing space and matter as a conscious being, and we've accepted the matter as real. You know, this is some greatness right here. Okay, so we've accepted that matter is real, that which has shape, form, and is tangible is real. So the question comes, If we are saying matter is real, then space must be unreal. If space is holding matter, it's like the unreal is holding reality. This takes our attention to this point where in science, the human species, in its conviction of its own non-fiction, is beginning to realize that space is fiction. Space is fiction. I don't know. Somebody tell me, what is the difference between believing in God, in like the idea of a God, or believing in the idea of space? It's inconceivable. What's the difference? Do you understand? There are certain languages brilliant, and language is a world. I don't know if I'm, if I've achieved something when it comes to communication, okay? But one thing I have realized is I'm a living example of someone whose inner realms changed during the lifetime. So I'll go on to explain to you what I mean by that. But anyways, so back to this. So I'm saying, yo, is space real? Then we're saying, oh my God, if we're calling what's in space real, then we're considering the space unreal. So if we consider space unreal, how can we consider it so it has to be real? So I'm saying if space is real, that's proof of the invisible. So anyone who believes in space, what's the difference from believing in a ghost? Please tell me. Somebody here tell me. It seems like if you believe in space, you believe in the ghost of the world. Or the ethereal representation of it. I find this notion to be fascinating. This whole life, I have been trying to, like, when you ask everybody, yo man, what do you want? Nobody says, I want space. Nobody says, I want to be space. We all want to be a specific thing in space. Is this not fascinating? Is this not fascinating enough to the human consciousness? That the world finds that there should be no one here, do you know, in this live stream, Jesus Christ. What I'm trying to say is that something doesn't make sense about the material human story. It doesn't make sense. Let me tell you why. If I don't believe in the idea of God, because I'm using the rationality that is saying, yo, that's not real, it's not physical, it's an abstraction. So abstraction is not real, right? But the idea of abstraction, who are we kidding? There will come a day where all humans on this planet will realize they have never been the specifications in language. You have from personality, I should say for the human consciousness, the personality that is found. It is a conditional entity in an unconditional world. I am saying, how can we believe in matter being real if we're considering the space that is holding matter unreal? Now I'm going to go into an informative description and different theories of space. By the way, guys, in 2023, the world ended and a new one began. Just to keep in mind technologically. 2023 is the most historic year ever. Of AI with human interaction is another level. Do you know? Just a second, guys. I gotta log into this. Anyways, until this loads. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Guys, I've hired all these drivers to pass by my podcast to make noise to add to the... Okay. Oh, God. There we go. Okay, hang on, guys. It's in the works. So while this loads, I'm just trying to share this idea that it's a multidimensional situation here. And we're all trying to find a singular strategy to it. Right now, I'm going to share with you different theories on space. I think space is a huge clue to consciousness. If we can understand space, we will be way closer to understanding consciousness. It's because we have made disconnected our creative individualism from a possibility of a collective creativism, you know? So I'm going to tell you, okay, so these are the theories. We have classical theory on what is space. Space is considered as a three-dimensional, infinite, and absolute void in which objects move and interact. What is the relational? The second one is the relational theory. Space is not considered as a physical entity, but is defined by the relationships between objects and their positions. So it's the relationship between objects that is considered space. This is the relational. Then we have the quantum theory. Space is not empty, but it is full of virtual particles that continuously appear and disappear, creating a quantum foam. This is also considered to be quantized and indivisible. Okay. I think there's a conceptual paradox there, but anyways. So in the quantum theory, what we consider from human consciousness as space is a very advanced relationship of the physical behavior of the world. And the beautiful thing about science is that science has patience to make up its mistakes. That's the most beautiful thing. People think there's something like, it's like scientism, as if it's like a religion. No, it's the scientific method. We are human beings using different tools, techniques, strategies, whatever, to get through whatever this is. Okay? And the idea is that you are conditioned as a known entity. So what does that mean? That means you're given a name tag and you're in some sense spoken to a degree that the linguistic reality is more real than anything else. To the degree that most people on the planet right now, and I'm in some sense, I have a theory, I sense it's like this. okay, are suffering from events that are only existence in their inner reality. Not everything that we experience is in front of our eyes. This is what they don't teach. They just tell you you have a mind, we don't know what it is, and then they tell you you have imagination, but it's unreal, but you have it. You see. You have a dream, you wake up, and the dream has affected you. Some part of consciousness treated the inner subjective content, the dreamscape, as reality. Consciousness treats the world like reality. There is no such thing as reality. This is the Mr.Withinian view. The general theory of relativity. This is the fourth. Space is considered to be a four-dimensional continuum, including time, most likely, which can be curved and distorted by the presence of massive objects such as planets and stars. I once had an experience in 2015, like a second year of giving these talks, where I was waiting in this coffee shop in this university, Birmingham City University, excuse me. And for a moment, I felt like the room was an oval. I don't know how to say it, but I felt like the room, I was in a square room, but how the square room felt was like, you know, it was different. So what that means is it's as if there were all those three theories from before, and Einstein's like, yo, we got to look at our watches when we look at this, you know. And then the fifth theory, loop quantum gravity. Space is considered to be made up of tiny loops of geometry that form a network. The theory suggests that space is not continuous, but it has a minimum length. Space is considered made up of tiny loops of geometry that form a network. Oh, yeah. So this is kind of like cheating. Okay, this theory is kind of like saying, imagine I draw a circle, and guess what? What's in the circle can be considered as space. Do you understand? So it's a relationship not with the universe where, you see, this is the bizarre thing. Let me tell you something very incredible about life. Okay, this world we're living in. They say, let's say the problem that the sociologist can't answer, or how would I say it? Okay, let's say the psychologist can't answer, the sociologist can't answer a problem, goes to the psychologist. The psychologist can answer the certain problem of, okay, why people behave this way, da. And then they go back at what the psychologist can't answer, the evolutionary biologist can answer. What the evolutionary biologist can't answer, this is where it's getting really interesting, the chemist can answer. What the chemist can't answer, the physicist can answer. Now this is where it gets super interesting. What the physicist can't answer, we for now in this modern world are saying there is no answer, you know? But it's the designer. I have this feeling that an expression of the soul, everybody who believes in the idea of the soul is expressing itself as a biological body, let's have this New Agean context, okay? But what is the body? When you zoom in, you're like, the body is cells. When you zoom in on the cells are elements. When you zoom in on the elements, they're particles. When you zoom in on the particles, they're freaking geometry in the void. So on some deep level, we are geometry's sophistication of ignoring itself to experience the curvature of humanity. There's this incredible thing, they say there's no straight lines in nature, and you know that's false, because light beams are straight in nature. Light is such a unique expression of nature that when you look at a lot of things, you're like this perfection of being such a pure, and of course, everything, let me tell you this world is like, when you're young, you think it can all fit into one story. That's the fool's errand. But when you understand how the real scholars are looking at it, the real scholars are in an unknown world. Do you understand? Everybody who's in a known world is spoiled. Metaphysically speaking. Anyways, guys, there's one more theory here. M theory. I think this is some James Bond thing. No, I'm kidding. M theory. Space is considered to be an 11-dimensional entity, which includes 3-dimensional space we experience, as well as 7 additional dimensions that are not directly observable. These additional dimensions are thought to be curled up in tiny spaces. Oh, yeah. This is a bit, you know what it is? I don't want to talk too much about this because it's kind of talking about inside, like the anatomy of existence. Do you see when we look at the geometry? This is the cool thing about mathematics. We should be so grateful for mathematics. Do you understand? Because it is allowing us to experience the illusion of organization. People don't realize this, but underneath your whole philosophy on life, there is basic arithmetic. Like it's like number theory. All languages like the person had to know number theory to be like, okay, this is word number 1, this is word number 2, this is a space between 1 and 2. Do you see what I'm saying? The number theory has to be there. Really, this illusion that there's a knowledge out there you can get. You're an unknown being in an unknown world. Wake up. What freaking knowledge do you want? Do you want knowledge like a shawarma? Imagine some guy, at the side, like has this booth, in the side of the street. Hey, everybody, it's like buy one truth, get one half, you want free. Is that the world we're heading towards, where we allow the unknown to be forgotten right in front of us? Do you understand? There's something where, I was fascinated when I was younger by the idea of like, my spiritual being in another dimension. But when I am way fascinated by why is humanity here? Do you understand? It's a round circle. Everything you think is not spiritual, not right, it's false. All of that will come to be the truth, but not with these eyes. It's your presence. It's weird. It's not like biological eyes. Okay, here, I'll say it this way. Right now, my biological eyes see my outer realms. But when I close my eyes and I remember what I ate yesterday, or I remember like some moment yesterday or something, or visualize something, I'm seeing something while my eyes are closed. Consciousness can see beyond biology. This is the clue. Our dreams are like how some part of the soul's foot is still in heaven, believe it or not, and is in somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember there was this one time my hands were full and this door to my apartment was closing, and I remember I had practiced this soccer kick called the Rabona. Okay, it's like this unique soccer technique. Okay, and I remember the door was about to close. And with my left foot, I suddenly put my foot on the other side, in between the door, and I spun, and the door opened instantly. I don't know. Oh man, I wish I could show it. There is a beautiful geometry to this world. Okay, knowledge comes down to how your geometry. Okay, let me say it this way. We think we have one life, right? That we think a normal person means you are a biological being and you're living one life here on a planet in the middle of somewhere where we started naming everything. So that's normal. Okay, and then we forgot that we named everything, and then children were born in the magical existence of civilization and culture and social programs. Children don't know how blessed they are that they don't know about that what's going on in the world. But this doesn't mean that a person should not know. There's a mystery in reality, and this mystery surpasses any concept you will hear in this life. Because if it was a linguistic truth, it should have been a photograph. It's a film. It's moving. Life doesn't mean static analysis. It means dynamic exploration. You know? Like, it's so weird. You know, I think extraterrestrials are in the future may hypothetically land on Earth, and we'll be like, hey, extraterrestrials, check out our educational systems. Check out, like, how many certifications we have, how many PhD students we have, how many incredible, knowledgeable human beings we have. And imagine the aliens are like, you guys are proud of this? You guys are proud of this. You're proud of abstract certification. You're proud of, in some sense, looping. You don't understand. Let me tell you, there is an anger from the past view to the future, right? The anger of like past generations when they see what the future generations do. But there is an anger of the future, unborn future to those born in the now, like in the egoic past. So what I'm saying is, modern spirituality, because we're creatures that wear watches, has come to the interaction of all the dimensions of our attention in one moment. So what I'm saying is, we thought we are living one life. I will explain to you, it's multiple. And it's becoming more. In the future, they will have a cyber life. They may have dehumanized life. Imagine in the future, just like how there's a tattoo addiction, right? Imagine the future, some person's like, yo man, I'm gonna get robotic arms, you know, that way I can imagine the person's a lumberjack or something. But then eventually the person then gets robotic legs, then eventually it becomes some, you know, edge runner nightmare, you know? So that's what I'm trying to tell viewers. That the species is reaching a time where its inventions are coming to take its human jobs. This world has so many ways you can look at it that at some point you're like, oh man, I believe in infinity now. Do you know, it's like, imagine somebody upsets you, or imagine two people are communicating, and then you just fathom all the different ways you can communicate. Do you know, when I was younger, I was shy because I didn't understand how magnificent communication is. How you can, in some sense, project a context to reality and conceptually move. Our fears deny us of the greatness that never had those fears. Now, what does this mean? Because the question is, like human beings are like living in the world, and we are so privileged because we get to see the mistakes of man and the blessings of nature. Okay? When you've lived in like a place where you haven't seen nature for a while, and you go in that nature spot, I don't know, but it's a heavenly feeling. It feels like do you understand? Like, in an advanced civilization, it's as if we honor the spirit of every moment of being. That's advanced. Advancement is not like, yo, I'm cool, everybody else, you know, I'm gonna punch them or something. There's the emergent gravity theory. Space is not considered to be a fundamental entity, but emerges from the interactions of many small constituents. This theory suggests that gravity is not a fundamental force, but an emergent one. Yeah, so that's cool. That's kind of saying gravity is not like something of a force of the world, it's a behavior of the world. Information theory. Space is considered to be an abstract concept that emerges from the way information is processed and stored. The theory suggests that the universe is a vast network of information, and space is a fundamental property of this network. Okay, wow, that's there we go. Information theory, this is close. Holographic principle. Space is considered to be a hologram. which means that the information, this is the ninth theory, guys, holographic principle, space is considered, space is considered to be a hologram, which means that the information about a three-dimensional object is encoded on a two-dimensional surface. The theory suggests that the universe is a hologram and space is an illusion. I mean, yeah, if you say the universe is a hologram, everything is an illusion. Even truth is an illusion. Do you know? Causal dynamical triangulation. Space is considered to be a collection of discrete triangles which are connected by links. The theory suggests that space is not continuous but has a discrete structure. Simulated universe theory. Space is considered to be a simulation, which means that the universe is a computer program. Okay, that was a very logical leap. No. Space is considered to be a simulation, which means that the universe is a computer program and space is a virtual reality created by the program. Yeah, I mean, the idea would be, I think the common view on simulation theory is that if we create a technology that is indiscriminate from reality, how do we know? Like, do you understand? It would be the idea that we're inside a machine, I think. Imagine we're like some higher dimensional beings video game. We're like, buddy, go get a job. Oh man, this world is so blessed. Yeah, anyways. So, excuse me. So, guys, I'm gonna, keep sharing a bit more. But anyways, all I'm saying is, I learned so much from life, from the game of chess. Like, I think I don't know how to say it, but it's pretty much first you're trying to discover where is your control. What do you have control over in your life? Imagine you get a blank piece of paper, wherever you are right now, and then in some sense write control and what you don't have control. And then consider to what dimensions your control ranges. Okay, so here's another theory, dark fluid theory. Space is considered to be filled with a mysterious fluid that interacts with matter and exerts gravitational effects. This theory suggests that the expansion of the universe is due to the repulsive effect of this dark fluid. Superfluid vacuum theory. Space is considered to be filled with a superfluid vacuum, which is a state of matter that behaves like a fluid but has no viscosity or friction. This theory suggests that the universe is filled with this superfluid, which gives rise to the properties of space. Casual set theory. Space is considered to be a casual set, which means that it is made up of discrete events that are causal. What am I saying? Causal set theory. Space is considered to be a causal set, which means that it is made up of discrete events that are causally related. This theory suggests that space is not continuous but has a discrete structure. Pre-geometry theory. What a theory. Space is considered to be an emergent property of a more fundamental structure that is not spatial. This theory suggests that space is not a primary concept, but rather a secondary one that arises from the interactions of more fundamental ones. Yeah, pretty much it's causal. Set theory is considering space to be in the causal position, I guess. Right? Pre-geometry theory is just pretty much saying space is the effect of something. When you realize that life is pretty much like this is how I would explain the kind of poetic chess rules of life. You're like a single point drawn on a piece of paper, and then there's lines going through this point. So these lines, this point is at the meridian point, at the median, let's say at the middle. And so these are all the dualities that you experience. So it's as if consciousness of existence turns into levels of experience. So one duality, major duality, is the known and the unknown. The other major duality is individual and collective. Then we have the invisible, visible. You already, most people know light and dark. So when you understand there's this dualistic framework in reality, and we are the awareness, the one that is noticing the duality at the same time, consciousness is triangular if it's in a dualistic world. This is why all those people who try to live non-dualistically don't know what to do with duality. Duality is like an advanced technology. You know, I think that's a very healthy view, especially when we're going towards a very technological future. Imagine AI, imagine super intelligent computers awaken in the year 2050 or something, okay? And the super intelligent computer says, hey, human beings, like, how can I understand you? Like, how can I make you guys understand like me, right? And we'll be like, you're the super intelligent one. Yeah. And imagine we'd be like, hey, AI, even though you appear more super intelligent in the outer realms, we do so much about the inner realms. And pretty much we strike a bargain with super intelligent computers. I think we're going to have way better like camaraderie. You know, I many talks I've said AI will become man's best friend, or will become like the second youngest child of mankind. The second youngest child of humanity. That means when we start behaving collectively, a new space and atmosphere arises. From those new space and atmospheres, new human consciousness arises, because new behaviors can happen in new places. People don't realize it, but right now, the world has a geometry, a design problem. It's not like, yo, should we go in the streets and shout? No, you should go actually sit down and wonder about what's going on here. And try to wonder, and Mr.Within strategy is everybody walks to the most advanced civilization they can fathom in their inner realms, and eventually you will meet the others. It's like climbing a mountain. The summit is the advanced civilization. Everybody from their inner realms is walking towards the most advanced state until we're all being it in the outer realms, pretty much. My vision was it's like, I was like, what kind of species do I want to be part of? Do I want to be part of a species that is one step ahead? Nah. A species 2 steps ahead? No. What do the unborn future generations deserve? They deserve a species that attempted as far ahead as it can. That means we say, watch us to everything in this universal sector, and humanity begins its advanced work. The mystical, alchemical great work has become the advanced work of the future. What it means is that the species is intelligent enough to be contextually victorious, universally. Anyways, guys, thank you for listening. I hope this episode was interesting. Share, subscribe, comment, like, join, and namaste.